from Los Angeles, and welcome to Stock Market Today. On the show today, we're going to be taking a look at Domino's as well as Ping Identity and Zoom Video, but we begin with a look at the major indexes. It's Alyssa Coram here, and I'm joined by Ken Shreve today, and we did see a down day across the board, but finish off session lows. The NASDAQ down about 0.7%, while the S&P and Dow down about 3 to 0.5% each. What do you make of the down day today, Ken?
Well, I mean, the silver lining, like you said, is that we did close well off lows, so that was good. The Dow was down as much as 370 points intraday, so it more than halved that loss. But this is a look at a daily chart for the NASDAQ Composite. It looks like it's going to close pretty much in the middle half of its intraday range, maybe a little bit higher. We did have volume in the stock market today on the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, quite a bit higher than what we saw on Wednesday, so it's likely we could see some a distribution day for the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. But, all in all, you look at the action in leading growth stocks, maybe a little bit of profit taking, but really not much in the way of sell signals. So a little bit of just a down session and close off lows.
Exactly. And if you have your 10-day moving average on your NASDAQ chart, you can see some nice support there too for the NASDAQ. So we will be keeping an eye on this uptrend. But as Ken mentioned, we still saw some interesting stock move today, including from Domino's Pizza, which gained about 26% today in heavy volume on its quarterly earnings report. Earnings growth of 19%, some nice acceleration from just 5% the quarter before, Ken, breaking out of a pretty long, messy, sideways action.
Yeah, but it was such a powerful breakout. A lot of us were watching this one closely today. First of all, we're looking at the stock's open price, which was 362.03, and Domino's did a good job all day of holding above its open price. So looks like it's going to close around 373, 374. But there was a lot of good news to this earnings report. Mentioned better than expected earnings and sales. Same store sales also very solid, nicely above expectations. Domino's reiterated its long-term growth outlook. It also raised its dividend by 20% to 78 cents a share. So really a bullish breakout. Just quickly, the company's fortressing strategy. A lot of analysts weren't so sure if this was a good idea, but they made a conscious decision to open up a lot more stores very close to existing stores so they can improve delivery time to better compete with Uber Eats, DoorDash, and you look at the earnings report and the same-store sales growth. I think the market likes the look of this new strategy.
Yeah, a very interesting strategy, and I feel like they are trying to really be tech forward as well, even with novel things like being able to order pizza by emoji on Twitter, things like that, always trying to innovate. And the stock now back at all-time highs after spending, quite a while, about a year and a half or so, just moving sideways.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a really healthy relative strength line here near highs. It was such a powerful breakout. This was really an example where it's okay to buy a stock near the open price. And again, the open price of Domino's was 362.03. It closed at 373, 374. So this one actually still looks actionable.
Yeah, and Ping Identity, a relatively recent IPO out of the security software space, moved into new high ground, breaking out of a short consolidation here with a nearly 5% gain in heavy volume. And this stock has had a really nice move since coming out of an IPO base back in the fall.
Yeah, it's a new issue. It's got that accelerating sales growth. We're going to hear from Ping regarding earnings on March 4th, so not next week, but the following week. And it's going to be reporting earnings along with Palo Alto Networks and other security software stocks. So all the strength in the software sector. Some of these security software names need to be watched closely, and really like the look of Ping Identity. Could be an emerging leader in the group. A nice breakout today, as you mentioned, over a 28.11 buy point, still in buy range. Market's in a confirmed uptrend. Looks
What's
pretty
not
good.
to like?
Yeah.
All right. Well, elsewhere in the software sector, sector. We're keeping tabs on Zoom Video, which has been zooming higher. Less than a month ago, it was trading around the 70 price mark. It's now over 105, Ken, tacking on a gain of about 1.3% today and above average turnover. This is a weekly chart here that we're looking at, and some are saying that Zoom could even be a coronavirus play, given that people are needing to, businesses internationally staying put and needing to communicate virtually.
Yeah, and so this is a company that's a leader in they operate basically a video communications platform. We use it here at IBD, but this is really a good example. First of all, it's just a good solid cup-shaped base, and you look at recent weeks, the explosive move the stock has made. 2 weeks ago alone, it was up 16%. It's up another 16% this week. So some people might point towards excessive euphoria, and maybe the stock's getting a little crazy here. But it is under accumulation, and the problem when you see a cup base like this, it does show a pullback of 43%. So it's a bit of a flawed stock technically, but it's another company with earnings right around the corner. Definitely a stock under accumulation ahead of earnings, and it's got pretty good fundamentals. Again, really strong sales growth, demand very strong for the company's communication platform.
All right. Well, given that it has had such a strong move in recent weeks, should investors be cautious here because of that?
Yeah, we talked about it on IBD Live this morning, and really such an explosive move and a breakout, several days ago over the 90 level. That the fact that it's bumping up against its left side high here, and you can see that on the weekly chart, wouldn't be surprising, or it would be actually ideal to see a little bit of a pullback ahead of earnings. Again, the earnings date is March 4th, so it's a couple weeks away. Maybe a little sideways, a little mild pullback here forms another handle, and could be actionable again.
All right. Well, we'll have to see what they say in the report come early March. And as Ken mentioned, we are discussing these trades in detail every morning on IBD Live. So make sure you join us. You can go to investors.com/IBD Live for all the details. If you have not checked it out already, every morning, starting 10 minutes before the opening bell, we're running through the headlines, looking at the market action right at the open, analyzing everything from a big picture, and then really drilling down and looking at actionable stocks of the day.
Yeah, and we also talk about the health of the broad market. And, listen, we've been talking about a lot of yellow flags, and maybe the market is ready for a pullback here. Once again, the market tried to pull back today. It didn't last very long. Yeah. We ended with mild losses, but again, well off session lows. So you get a lot of discussion about broad market health on IBD Live, and also actionable stocks.
Yes.
And there have been a lot of them lately.
Oh, yeah. Well, make sure to check that out. And you can also check out our weekly podcast, which dropped today. We have a new episode every Thursday with our very own host, Arusha Puris. And you can check out that new episode now by going to investors.com/podcast. It's a very interesting discussion this week, all about how to leverage social media to find the next big winning stocks. All right, everyone, thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow to cap off the week.